everyone, my name is Tanya from Nana's Crafty Home. Today's tutorial is going to show you how to make the chainless starting double crochet. This is intended to replace your beginning chain 3 at the beginning of a row. And I've worked up some samples so that you can see. Of course, most of us are accustomed to working that chain 3 at the beginning of a row for our blankets and projects. But one of the problems with that chain 3, as you're going to be aware, is this gap that you end up with. The chain 3 is just not the same as a double crochet. It doesn't have the thickness, it's floppier, it's thinner, and it creates this little gap between the double crochet and the chain 3 that just doesn't look great. When you work the chainless starting double crochet, and you can see I've worked the swatch the same, but in this swatch I'm using the starting chainless double crochet, and look at the difference between those stitches. So you can see here, this is the chain 3 and this is that chainless starting double crochet. There's less of a gap. You can see the difference in thickness. It's closer to what a standard double crochet would look like. It's not exactly the same, but it certainly gets you a lot closer to the appearance of that standard double crochet. So it really does improve the look of your crochet projects. For this tutorial, I'm just using some cotton yarn, Hobby Lobby's I Love This Cotton, in a sparkle pink color, and I have a size 7 or a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. You can use any yarn for this stitch, and I've started working up a swatch here, and I've been using the chainless starting double crochet. Now I'm going to turn. And to begin, you're going to bring up a tall loop. You want this loop to be about the height of one of your double crochets, just slightly shorter than what you would have for a double crochet. You're going to hold this loop with your finger very securely. So you don't want this loop to go anywhere. So you're going to hold it tightly to your hook, and you're going to swing your crochet hook behind that loop that you just made. So swing that crochet hook around and behind, and now you have 2 loops on your hook. And now you're going to hold both of those loops on your hook with that finger so that they don't go anywhere. And I want you to see what that looks like without the finger so that you kind of get an idea of what you're doing here. See, that's just your loop that you're holding, but you're swinging that crochet hook behind. I'm going to show you again. You're swinging that behind that loop. You see how you're doing that? That loop is kind of swinging around, creating this double loop here. And then you're holding those loops tightly to your hook so they don't move around. And then that hook is behind the loop. So I'm going to do that again. You're going to hold this loop tightly, swing your hook back behind, hold both of those loops on tightly, and insert your hook into the base of that tall loop, that same stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. So now you have 3 loops on your hook, and you're continuing to hold these 2 firmly with your finger, yarning over, pulling through those 2, continuing to hold this loop firmly, yarning over and pulling through those last 2 loops. And you can see how much thicker this starting chainless double crochet is compared to what a chain 3 would be. It looks much closer, and I'll go ahead and do a double crochet right next to it so you can see the difference. It looks a lot closer to a standard double crochet. So I'm going to do that one more time. So pull up a loop, holding that loop on your hook, swing your hook back behind the loop, hold those loops on your hook, and insert your hook into that same stitch, yarning over and pulling up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, continuing to hold these 2, yarning over, pull through 2, yarning over and pulling through the last 2. And then you'll just work your row as you would normally with your standard double crochet. And when you get to the end of your row, you're going to be working in the top of that chainless starting double crochet, just as you would if it was your turning chain 3. But it's going to have the same V at the top as a standard double crochet would. So this is a chainless starting double crochet at the end here, and you can see this V at the top looks similar to a regular double crochet. So you would just work your double crochet into the top of that stitch by working into that V. And what a difference that makes in the appearance of your project. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. Thanks so much for being with me. As always, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you never miss a new video. Also, you can find me on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to sign up for my newsletter so that you get notified whenever I post a new pattern or tutorial.